Okay. Is it visible now? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Ma'am.
Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In the previous class, we were studying about this distortionless line. Okay, and also we obtained expression for distortionless line, that is L by C is equal to R by G. This is a condition if you want to have a distortionless line. Okay, but naturally available transmission line, it is not possible to have LG is equal to CR. Always one of this may be greater than the other. So to obtain this condition, we have to add external components to the network or to the transmission line. Okay, we have to add external components to the transmission line. See, like this. This is one of the way. This is by adding shunt resistance, we are increasing the conductance. Shunt conductance we are increasing by adding resistance, shunt resistance like this. Sorry, okay. G we are it is increased by adding this shunt resistance. Okay, similarly we can do for inductor also. By adding inductor in series we can increase the overall that LG product. Okay, so that is called as loading transmission lines. See here, loading transmission line. What is meant by loading? There may be a question like this. Okay, in the examination, what is meant by loading? There may be a question. In the case, we have to explain this. See, loading is a process of increasing the RLCG values of the line by placing lumped or distributed components at specific intervals along the transmission line to avoid distortion. Okay, this is the definition of that loading. Loading means what we are doing, we are adding some external lumped elements or components. They may be lumped or may be distributed components as a specific intervals along the transmission line. See, like this. This is what we have made at a specific intervals of distance. At every 1 mm we were adding this resistance. So like by adding like at a specific intervals of distance, we increased this LG product. So that is here called as a loading. So the question is like, what is loading? You have to say this. Okay, and you can explain, you can take a figure with this one and you can explain what is meant by loading. So here we added a resistance in shunt to the transmission line. We can increase this product by putting a L value at a regular intervals in series. In series, you can add inductor, lumped inductor you can add to increase the value of this LG. So thereby we can get a distortionless line. That is called as a loading transmission lines. Okay. Okay, and also we studied this condition for distortionless, and we did some problems, some problems in the previous class. The examples. Okay, how to find out LC values if attenuation constant is given, beta is given, how to find out the values of LCG R. And also we did how to find out the input impedance and the input current if input voltage is given, okay, length of the transmission line is given, how to find out the input impedance. Similarly, we can find out LCG values are given, RLCG values are given. See, like okay, in these two problems, alpha and beta given, they are asking you to find out the RLCG, but RLCG may be given, they may ask you to find out alpha, beta and characteristic impedance, propagation constant. That is a converse approach. Okay, here is alpha beta given, they are asking you to find out RLGC. Okay, in the other approach they will be providing RLCG. Okay, you should find out the values of alpha, beta and characteristic impedance. Okay, so that is a converse approach. Okay, that I have not done in this example. You can go through this examples how to do that. Okay, I am not doing that one. By providing this RLCG values, so what is the value of beta, alpha and characteristic impedance? So there are direct equations are there. Just you substitute the values of these RLCG in those equations like this Z0. This Z0 is equal to this. So you substitute the given parameters and a frequency, you will be getting Z0. Similarly, this propagation constant square root of zy, okay, you will be getting the value of gamma, and so alpha and beta given by that real and imaginary parts of the propagation constant. So you can do those problems, but only thing is you should know how to do this complex mathematics. It's as I said in the previous class also, all of you must practice, okay, this complex number multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, okay, practice that you can easily obtain these line parameters. Okay, so now today's class we will see is the input impedance of open and short circuited transmission lines. So here is the input impedance of open and short circuited transmission lines. So that means in the previous till what we saw, we were connecting a load, see like this, load may be ZL. So the load is connected here, ZL is connected at the one end of the transmission line, and the other end we are connecting the source. This connected to the source, and this is connected to the load ZL here. ZL may be anything here. ZL it may be a complex, or it may be a real, or it may be a zero also. This is a zero means a short circuited, and open means infinity. ZL equal to infinity, we will be getting open circuit. ZL is equal to 0, we will be getting short circuited transmission lines. Okay, so this if a transmission line, if ZL is equal to 0 or ZL equal to infinity, those transmission lines find many applications in RF and micro circuit system design. They find many applications in communication system design. Okay, when the load is open or load is equal to short, open or short circuited transmission lines, they are called as open and short circuited transmission lines. So we will see if this load is connected, ZL is connected here, what is the input impedance here, that is given by this equation. It is a function of so it is a function of distance, Z of x, it is a function of distance, input impedance, okay, that is given by this equation. So it is load is some value, any value. If a load is equal to 0 or load is equal to infinity, what is the input impedance looking in this direction? That is called as open and short circuited transmission lines. So we will see that here. Input impedance of open and short circuited transmission lines. So this is a transmission line, you see, like this is a transmission line, it is it is a short circuited at the other end. See, this is short circuited, ZL equal to 0, and the transmission line it is has a characteristic impedance Z0 and a propagation constant gamma. Okay, so this is what is the input impedance of a particular length. We are taking here is a particular length equal to d here. Okay, it is measured from the load point. It is we are measuring what is the impedance here. As I said, it is a function of distance. You see, it is a function of distance as we measured here. Based on the value of d, this Zn changes here. Okay, so if it is a short circuited, okay, if load is connected, some load is connected, then this is a equation, it's a function of distance. Okay, and also open circuited, this is a transmission line. If it is open circuited, what is the input impedance? Okay, before that we see here Zin at DC and low frequency. See, if our circuit is operating at a very low frequency or DC signal, like below some megahertz, okay, if a short circuited like this, that is equal to 0, and it is having some length, for example, it has a length equal to d. What is the input impedance at low and at DC and low frequency? See here, it is equal to 0 only, because it is short circuited here. Okay, at low frequency, if you measure it, it is equal to 0 only. Input impedance across a shorted line, it is equal to 0. Okay, if at low frequency, that's why I'm stressing here. If you measure input impedance here, whatever it may be the length here, this simply behaves like a short circuit. Simply this whatever the length the interconnect we are using, that simply behaves like a short. That's why Zn is equal to 0 for this line. Similarly, if it is open circuited, if you measure Zn here, it may be of any length, it is equal to infinity at low frequency. Usually the length of the line may be in the order of meter or centimeter at very low frequency. This is small only compared with the wavelength. Compared with the wavelength, its length is less than lambda by 10. Okay, in such a case, what happens if you measure here input impedance, it is 0, it is equal to infinity here. Okay, that is at low and DC and low frequency, this is the case. But if you take this line, see, it is like a length d only, same length maybe. Okay, but it is short circuited here. If you measure impedance here, it is not equal to 0, it is not equal to 0, it is given by for a short circuited line. Okay, short circuited means ZL is equal to this is equal to 0. Okay, put it in this equation. Substitute ZL equal to 0 in this equation. ZL 0 means 0, here is a 0, we will be getting this Z0, and this term is Z0 tan hyperbolic gamma d. Okay, so that is called a short circuited input impedance. Short circuit, SC means short circuited line. Okay, input impedance of short circuited line. So looking in this direction, if you measure the impedance, it is not equal to 0 because it is shorted here like a low and DC signal. It is equal to this Z0 tan hyperbolic gamma d. It depends upon the value of d, length of the line. It depends on length of the line, and secondary constant Z0 and gamma. Z0 is it is as you know, it is given by Z by y. Similarly, this is gamma, alpha plus j beta, square root of z into y. So it depends upon primary constants and LCGR again, because Z0 and gamma depends upon the primary constants. So ZSC, it is not equal to 0. It takes some value like this. Okay, so this is called as a short circuited impedance, short circuited transmission line input impedance. This is for lossy line. Okay, lossy means alpha is there here. Okay, so that is given by this Z0 tan hyperbolic gamma d. This equation, it is a function of distance and secondary constants Z0 and gamma. Again, they depend upon the value of primary constant. So ZSC is a function of distance. Okay, it varies as you measure like this. So if they ask, because we will see how we can use this to implement passive components at RF and microwave, this property, because it is a function of length, it varies. Okay, how does it varies as a function of distance, we will see that later. Okay, so if they ask you to derive what is ZSC, what is derive the expression for input impedance of a short circuited line, you should do this, and it is a like. So for example, prove that the input impedance of a shortly lossy line, slightly lossy line, that is alpha d is less than 1, beta d less than 1, is approximately equal to this. Okay, prove that the input impedance of a short circuited slightly lossy line, that means alpha d and beta d, alpha d is not equal to 0, it is lesser but not equal to 0. Okay, less than 1 here. Okay, so now prove our Zn is equal to r plus j omega L into d. See, this is Zn equal to this value. Okay, so that means what, how to do this? Zn, it is given, prove that input impedance is short circuited slightly lossy line. That means input impedance of a short circuited line is given by this equation. This is the input impedance of a short circuited transmission line. You take this equation. So this is the equation Z0 tan hyperbolic gamma d. So in this tan hyperbolic gamma d, they are specified alpha d and beta d, they are less than 1. So you can, if gamma becomes very small, gamma value is a small, In such a case, what we can do, instead of tan hyperbolic gamma d, we can approximate tan hyperbolic gamma d to gamma d. So like this, we can approximate this tan hyperbolic gamma d to gamma d. Okay, so it becomes z naught gamma d. What is gamma and z naught? You substitute. So zn is equal to z naught here, and gamma is equal to this. So it is equal to r plus j omega l into d. So what is Zn here? Zn is given by this equation. It depends upon the what is the resistance of this and inductor of this, okay, and the distance, length of the line decides the Zn here. Okay, so like this short circuited transmission line, the input impedance is given by this equation. It is a function of distance. Similarly, for open circuited line, see this is a open circuited line. For an open circuited line, again what is the input impedance here? You take a expression for general expression. This is a general expression for impedance on a transmission line. See, if you take a general expression means, see like this, any load, if any load is there, that we derived here. Okay, so if any load is there, okay, if you measure the impedance, it is a function of distance, that we derived here. This equation you should take. Only the thing is, it may be different. It may be ZL may be 0, ZL may be infinity, but this equation remains the same. Okay, this may be anything. It may be 0, it may be infinity, or it may be equal to Z naught. Okay, but for those cases, the impedance changes here. If ZS is 0, ZL is 0, then this is the equation. This is the one, Z naught tan hyperbolic simplifies. If a ZL is 0, this equation simplifies to this. That's all. You can find the value of input impedance as a function of distance. This equation simplifies to this. Similarly, if it is open circuited, it simplifies to see this equation. What is that? So this is the equation, general equation. But what is as ZL equal to infinity? You cannot substitute here ZL directly here. Okay, what we have to do? We should take this ZL outside. Take this ZL outside. Okay, then it becomes ZL, and here also it becomes ZL here. Z in the numerator and denominator, you take a ZL outside. Then what do you get here? Z naught divided by ZL. Z naught divided by ZL, and here is 1 tan of hyperbolic gamma d. Okay, so now here that ZL cancels, and here is 1, here is Z naught by infinity, anything divided by infinity is 0, so this term becomes 0. Similarly here, Z naught by infinity, anything divided by infinity is 0 here. So what do you get? This is 0, this is 0, it is Z naught divided by tan hyperbolic gamma d. Okay, this become Z naught divided by tan hyperbolic gamma d. If you take it to the numerator, Z naught cot of hyperbolic gamma d. So ZOC simplified now for this is a general expression, but our ZL is equal to infinity. Our input expression, Zn equation simplifies to this. ZOC equal to Z naught cot hyperbolic gamma d, this equation. Okay, so this is for lossy line. Lossy line means alpha equal to not equal to 0. Alpha, it may be small but not equal to 0. It's called as lossy lines. Okay, so if a short circuit is there, the input impedance equation simplifies to this. If a open circuit is there, that equation simplifies to this. This we will be using in the next application, so that's why you should keep it in mind. ZOC is equal to what? Z naught cot hyperbolic gamma d. You should remember this. Similarly, ZSC is Z naught tan hyperbolic gamma d. That means you should write like this circuit. This is a short circuited line. It is a open circuited line. So input impedance is the function of distance. Okay, so sometimes they may ask you to obtain an expression for ZSC and ZOC of a lossy line. Okay, ZSC and ZOC of a lossy line, transmission line. Then you should start from this equation. This is the equation. For short circuited line, you just substitute ZL equal to 0 in this equation, get this. Similarly, for this open circuited line, ZL equal to infinity, but you cannot substitute here directly infinity, these two will be cancelled. That is wrong way of doing. What we have to do, you should take ZL outside, Here also ZL outside, then ZL by ZL cancels, remaining is this way, Z0 divided by Z0, here is Z0 divided by ZL. Okay, then you substitute the value of ZL, it is infinity here, infinity here. Okay, we will be getting this is Z0 cot hyperbolic gamma d. So Z was equal to this. So this you have to derive, this may carry 6 marks in the examination. Obtain the expression for ZSC and ZOC of open and short circuited lossy transmission line. Should start from here and obtain this and this. Okay, and you should write this figure, okay. So this is at RF and microwave frequency this happens. It is not like a low frequency. In the low frequency, it's simply you will write it is equal to 0 if short is there. Simply we will be writing infinity if it is a open circuit. Okay, it is not like that in case of this transmission lines. Okay, at RF and microwave frequencies. Okay, this is about input impedance of open and short circuited lines at a RF frequency. Input impedance of open and short circuited lines. Okay. Okay. So next we will see now here if based on the different values of load. So like is the reflection coefficient, as we know in the previous class, it depends upon the load value. See your reflection coefficient, what is a reflected wave, magnitude and phase of the this is a reflected wave here, and this is a lossy line. What we are seeing here is a lossy line. That means there is a attenuation. As the wave travels like this, its amplitude go on decreases. Similarly, this reflected wave generated at the load, and as it travels like that, its amplitude decreases. Okay, so here what is the amplitude and phase of this reflected wave with respect to this incident? Okay, that depends upon the value of this ZL and the characteristic impedance of the transmission line. So this transmission line has a characteristic impedance and a propagation constant. The amplitude and phase of this reflected wave depends upon the ZL and the Z0. So at the load point, the amplitude and phase of the reflected wave depends upon ZL and Z0. So that we derived in the class. TOEL, reflection coefficient at the load point, is given by ZL minus Z0 divided by ZL plus Z0. Okay, this is a equation what we derived in the previous class. Okay, using this equation you can find out what is the reflection coefficient, what is the value of this amplitude and phase of this with respect to this, okay, at this position. That you can find out if you know the value of ZL. So now for example in this what the question is, find the reflection coefficient of short, open and matched terminated transmission lines. Find the reflection coefficient of short, open and matched terminated transmission lines. What is the reflection coefficient if ZL equal to 0? That means what is the amplitude of the reflected wave and phase of the reflected wave if ZL equal to 0? Okay, so to do that what you have to do, see, you have to take this equation. It gives the ratio of V reflected divided by V incident, is correct? TOEL, it is a ratio of V reflected divided by V incident. So that is given by here is a substitute ZL equal to 0. What do you get? It is equal to minus 1. Reflection coefficient TOEL is equal to minus 1. What is the meaning of this? TOEL equal to minus 1. Amplitude of the reflected wave is, what is that? Amplitude of the reflected wave equal to 1. But what is the phase of the reflected wave? Phase of the reflected wave is see this from this equation. reflected wave phasor divided by incident phasor. What we got here, it is equal to 1 here, minus 1. Minus 1 means what? Reflected wave has the same amplitude as the incident wave, but its phase is 180 degree with respect to the incident wave. Okay, that's why it is a minus 1 here. We have this is equal to minus 1. The ratio is minus 1. Minus 1 means reflected wave amplitude is same as the incident wave. That means whatever incident here, that entire will reflect back. But that reflected wave has a 180 degree phase with respect to incident wave. That's why here is a minus 1 is there. Minus 1. Okay, that's why if there is a short circuit is there here, if there is a short, then what happens? No power is delivered to here. Entire wave will reflect back like this. Okay, with a 180 degree phase shift. That is nothing but a conductor. Conductor reflects a signal with a 180 degree phase shift. Okay, if a wave incident over a conductor, the wave will reflect back with a 180 degree phase shift. Okay, so that happens here. So this is here. Okay, short circuit is there, then the entire wave will reflect back with a 180 degree phase shift. Maximum reflection, it's called as maximum reflection. Similarly, hello, is it audible? Hello, are you there? Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
ma'am, audible, ma'am.
Audible. PPT is visible? Hello? Is a PPT
Yes, ma'am.
visible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, so now see this. Okay, this is about short circuit. If you put a short circuit here, what happens? Entire wave will reflect back with a 180 degree phase shift. Similarly, if you put a open circuit here, open circuited line, that means ZL equal to infinity. Here, if you put a ZL equal to infinity, then what happens here? You see, you ZL this equation, but you cannot substitute a ZL equal to infinity here. What you should do? You should take a ZL outside in the numerator and denominator. These two will cancel. Here Z0 divided by infinity. ZL is infinity. Okay, so we will be getting plus 1 here. It is equal to plus 1. Plus 1 means what? Again, entire wave will reflect back with a magnitude as the same as the incident wave. Okay, but here is a phase is in phase. In phase means reflected wave and incident waves are in phase. Okay, that is the meaning here. Okay, so based on the if a short circuit is there, entire wave will reflect, but it has a 180 degree phase shift. But if you put a open circuit, again entire wave will reflect back. Okay, incident, whatever incident, it will reflect back, but with a zero phase. Incident and reflected waves are in phase. Okay, so that the amplitude of this reflection coefficient, how much reflects back, depends upon the ZL, and also phase. If you substitute a different value, ZL something is given, then if you substitute, you will be getting different value. So amplitude of this depends upon the ZL, and phase also depends upon the ZL here. Okay, so that is for open circuit and short circuit, main is reflection magnitude. You can call it as reflection magnitude is 1. Okay, and entire wave will reflect back. Okay, if a short circuit, it reflects with a 180 degree phase difference. Okay, so next case is for matched load. Matched load means what? This ZL is equal to Z0. If ZL is equal to Z0, then what happens? See from this equation again, TOEL, reflection coefficient. Okay, Z0 minus this ZL is Z0. ZL you substitute Z0, cancels. Z0 minus ZL, Z0 is 0. Reflection coefficient is 0. That is a reflected wave phasor. Okay, divided by incident wave phasor, that is equal to 0. What is the meaning of that? Reflected wave is 0. Here reflected wave is 0. No reflected wave if this is equal to characteristic impedance. Okay, so we will be getting this reflection coefficient equal to 0. So that is main what we should do. We should make this equal to characteristic impedance if you do not have reflection. Usually we do not want a reflection. Okay, it should be equal to 0 in most of our applications. So you should bring this equal to the characteristic impedance of the line, then reflection coefficient will be 0. So this is one reflection about a reflection coefficient of short, open and matched termination. Maximum value is 1 and maximum value of reflection coefficient is 1 and minimum is a 0 here, 0 reflection coefficient. Okay, this will be for if it is terminated, matched terminated. Okay, and if any other value is given, what is the reflection coefficient? Just you substitute that in this equation. ZL is equal to something. I have not done that problem here. You can do some examples. Okay, ZL is equal to given. If you just substitute in this equation and simplify, you will be getting angle, some angle. It may be 0.5 into 90 degree, 0.5 90 degree for some value. What's the meaning of that? Amplitude of the reflected wave is 0.5 times incident wave, but angle of this signal is angle of this reflected wave is 90 degree phase shifted with respect to the incident wave. Whatever you get here phase, that is with respect to incident wave. Okay, how much this reflected wave deviates with respect to the incident here. Okay, so like that is a phase difference of reflected incident wave minus a reflected wave. That is a phase here what we get. 90 degree phase, TOEL is 90 degree means this reflected wave is 90 degree phase difference with respect to the incident wave. Incident wave may have any phase. For example, it has an amplitude of 1 volt and 0 degree. Incident wave, it may be 1 volt and 0 degree. 1 volt and 0 degree means, okay, reflected wave is 90 degree phase shifted. For example, reflected wave itself is 30 degree. If you get here, it is 0.5 90 degree. That means here it is 30 degree means 90 degree order to that. 120 degree, this reflected wave is 120 degree, this is 30 degree. Okay, but difference between these two is 90 degree. See like that. Okay, based on this incident wave phase, this reflected wave phase will be measured. This is a reference. Okay, amplitude of this and phase of this is reference for the measurement of amplitude and phase of this reflected wave. That is this reflection coefficient. Okay, so this is about reflection coefficient of different termination, ZL infinity, 0 or equal to some characteristic impedance, or it may be anything. Okay, you can do that calculation in the examination. If they ask you to find the reflection coefficient or find the reflection coefficient of open circuit, short circuit, matched termination, and some load may be given. Okay, then what is the reflection coefficient? You should use like this. You should find. Okay, that is again a 6 marks question may carry 6 marks. Are based on the problem. If all 4 I have given only 3, short, open and matched, it is easy like this you can do. This question may carry 6 marks. If load is given ZL other than these 3, then you have to do one more calculation. So that question may carry 8 marks. Okay, like in the examination. So this is about transmission lines, and I am tracing here it is alpha. The amplitude don't decreases here because of alpha. Okay. Okay, is it audible? Hello? Audible? Hello, Kavya? Kavya is present? Okay, audible? Is it audible?
Yes, ma'am, it's audible.
Kavya? Is it audible? Navita? Namita? Namita is present?
Yes, ma'am, it is audible.
Audible. Okay. Okay, next lossless transmission lines. Lossless transmission lines. Okay, so in the previous, as I said here, it is a lossy transmission line. Okay, so what is a lossless transmission line? Now we will see lossless transmission lines. Okay, lossless transmission lines means, see, as we know z is equal to j omega l plus r and y is equal to j omega c plus g. Okay, that for a transmission line, any transmission line like this, primary z and y series impedance and this is the shunt admittance are given by these two equations. Now at RF and microwave frequencies, at a very high frequencies, what we can do? We can do this assumption j omega l is very much greater than r and j omega c is very much greater than g, because see, omega is very high. Omega is very high in the order of gigahertz, 10 to the power 9. Giga means 10 to the power 9. 25f. F is 10 to the power 9. So this product may become very much greater compared with the r. Sorry, this j omega l may be very much greater than r. Similarly, j omega c, if this product is very much greater than g, then what we can do, we can neglect the value of r compared with this. Similarly, we can neglect this g compared with the j omega c. So in this equation, series impedance and the shunt admittance j omega l, it is a j omega l here. Yeah, and compare at very high frequency or microwave frequencies, you can this may become very high, so we can neglect this r. Similarly, this become very high, we can neglect this. So you will be getting this z is equal to j omega l and y is equal to j omega c. Okay, in such a case, here gamma is a propagation constant. Okay, root of z into y. So that we can write, see here, this is 0 and this is equal to 0 approximately. So j omega l, j omega l. So the product becomes j omega root of LC. This is j square omega square LC. If we take it outside, j omega root of LC. Okay, so that is a propagation constant now is equal to, that is alpha plus j beta. We are representing propagation constant by alpha plus j beta because it's a complex number. So now what we can see, at a very high frequency, it becomes lossless. Lossless means r and g are 0. Okay, so propagation constant is alpha, it simplifies to this equation. The expression for gamma is only j omega root of LC. Okay, but gamma is generally what we write, it is equal to alpha plus j beta. But comparing with this equation, comparing with this, okay, it has no alpha term. Alpha is not there, only imaginary term is there. So in the lossless lines, okay, what we have, propagation constant is simply is equal to only imaginary term. It consists only imaginary term, because after substitution this we got, it is only imaginary. But generally alpha plus j beta is this, but for a lossless line we have only this. That means by comparing the imaginary and real part of this gamma, we got alpha equal to 0, but beta is omega root of LC. Okay, so for lossless line, beta is omega into square root of LC, but alpha 0. Alpha 0 means attenuation is 0. Attenuation over the line is 0. Okay, so and gamma becomes only j beta. Gamma is only j beta because alpha is 0, gamma is only j beta. That is equal to j omega root of LC for a lossless line. So for a lossless line, what we got, approximately these are zeros. Okay, and alpha is 0, beta is simplified to this equation, omega into root of LC. And characteristic impedance is here, characteristic impedance for a lossless line, z by y, that is j omega l cancels root of LC. Z0 is given by only root of LC. Okay, and velocity of the wave is given by 1 by root of LC, because omega by beta is omega root of LC. This cancels, it becomes root of LC. So it becomes velocity is independent of frequency on lossless line. And also alpha is 0, it does not depend upon the length of the line. Alpha is 0. Attenuation is not a function of distance. Okay, alpha 1 by root of LC, velocity, and beta is 2 pi by lambda. Beta is 2 pi by lambda from this equation. Okay, so now you can see here lossless line means alpha 0. From this what we got, alpha equal to 0. Alpha is mainly, it is decreases the amplitude of the signal as a move over the transmission line. See, alpha is a function of distance, what we studied here. See here, this is why alpha x, because of alpha x. Okay, and it is a function of distance. Amplitude of the signal go on decreases because alpha is not equal to 0. Okay, that's why amplitude of the signal go on decreasing like this. That is the function of distance. But now alpha 0 means, see this waveforms I have given in the beginning class. Here see u to the power alpha into x. If this term is there, then it will be there, and amplitude of this signal decreases like this because of e to the power minus alpha x. If it is 0, then it is a straight line like this. Alpha is not a 0. Okay, then we will be getting only straight, only the signal propagating over the transmission line. So amplitude of the signal does not decrease over the transmission line. So this is because of alpha value is not equal to 0, amplitude go on decreases as you move like this. Similarly, the wave reflected wave started here and its amplitude go on decreases. Okay, because alpha is not 0, but alpha is 0. See like this, this is the one. As you, it is the input signal we sending, its amplitude remains the same. Okay, it doesn't decrease, that's why I shown here, it does not decrease, it remains the same, and it incident over this. Once it incidents, a reflected wave will generate, but amplitude of this reflected wave depends upon the value of ZL. Amplitude here, it may be lesser real. If it is ZL is Z0, then no wave will be reflected. Okay, if ZL is 0, then this entire signal will reflect back like this. Based on this ZL, a signal will be generated, reflected wave will generate like this. Okay, but amplitude of this reflected wave depends on ZL, and once it generated, as you move like this, as the wave travels like this, its amplitude does not decrease, it remains same. See, I have shown here, amplitude of the reflected wave does not decrease here, it remains the same because alpha is 0. Okay, but it is lesser than, amplitude is lesser, but it is not decreasing with respect to distance, it is not decreasing with respect to distance, it remains same. Okay, because alpha is 0. Okay, as it moves, it does not decrease. But here what happens here, here incident, here it is also not function of distance, alpha 0, it does not decrease, it remains the same. And again here this reflected wave is lesser than this, that is because of ZL. Based on ZL, it may take any value, but once it reflected with that value, it will retain its amplitude as it travel over the line. It does not decrease because alpha is 0. Okay, but here it is not like this, alpha greater than 0. What happens, once it is generated here, as it travels, amplitude of the wave decreases. Similarly, it is generated reflected wave based on this ZL, but its amplitude go on decreases as it moves. Okay, because alpha is not equal to 0, but here it is not like that for a lossless line. Okay, so at RF and microwave frequencies, usually we will do like this, j omega L is greater than R and j omega C is very much greater than G, then alpha becomes 0. Okay, in such a case, the wave is maybe like this on the transmission line. Two waves will be there, but they are of their amplitude is not decreasing as a function of distance. Okay, this retains its amplitude, this reflected wave retains its amplitude as it is whenever it generated at the load side. It is generated at load with some amplitude, and it retains that as it travels. Similarly, this is at the source and it retains its amplitude until it reaches the ZL. Okay, for alpha equal to 0. So if for such a line, if this is a transmission, usually at while designing RF circuits, they will consider like this for some cases, lossless transmission lines. So now if it is a case here, okay, lossless line is there, and we have here this alpha is 0 here, and beta is this value, and gamma is only j beta. Gamma is equal to j beta. Okay, now for such a case, the expression for voltage, current and impedance of a transmission line are given by, see, these are the general expression what we derived in the earlier classes. Okay, the expression for voltage, current and impedance over a transmission line, general expression for voltage, current and impedance on a transmission line are given by this equation. There we used gamma here because they are the lossy line, so we generally derived like this. But now lossless line, gamma reduces to j beta. So in these equations you substitute gamma equal to j beta. By substituting this gamma equal to j beta, you will be getting these equations 4, 5 and 6. See, just wherever gamma is there, you replace by j beta. For a lossless line, the expression for voltage at any point, and it is a function of distance. Okay, the voltage is a function of distance. It is given by this equation. That is j beta only. Gamma is replaced by j beta here. Similarly here. Similarly in z of x equation also. And also reflection coefficient equation. This is general expression we derived for a lossy line. Okay, so this is the one. So we got this for a reflection coefficient is given by this. So this 4, 5, 6, 7, they are the expression for voltage, current and impedance, and also reflection coefficient on a lossless transmission line. Expression for voltage, current, impedance and reflection coefficient on a lossless transmission line. Okay, only this you have to replace, gamma replaced by minus j beta. Okay, so now further, as we saw in the earlier class, we can replace, simplify this by rearranging this. Okay, we derived already. This is equal to reflection coefficient 2 of x. This is the 2 of x. So you can replace this by 2 of x here, 2 of x. See, instead of carrying 2l e to the power minus j 2 j beta l e to the power plus j beta x. Okay, this is nothing but 2 of x. Okay, so this entire is 2 of x, we can write like this. Similarly, this rearranging this 2 and writing like this, we will be getting. Similarly, z of x, you can write like this, ratio of these two is this. Okay, and by trigonometric form you can rearrange this to get this trigonometric form. Okay, so this is very important. You see, now this is a trigonometry. Z of x is given by z0 zl plus j, rearranging this. Okay, zl plus j z0 tan beta d, z0 plus j zl tan beta d. What is this? J z0, hyperbolic function is not here. It is tan beta d, j z0 tan beta d, j zl tan beta d. Okay, you just compare with the here that previous one. It is that the equation is z0 tan hyperbolic gamma d here, z0 tan hyperbolic gamma d. For this is for lossy line, z0 tan hyperbolic gamma d. But this is for lossy line. For lossless line, it is simplifies to j. It is a j. If you do this, rearrange this, as I did for in the earlier class, I have given how to get a trigonometric z of x. Okay, similarly you do this for this also, we will be getting this. Okay, zl plus j z0 tan beta d and zl tan beta d here. Okay, so this equation you have to remember. For lossless line, the input impedance is given by this equation. Okay. for lossy line, that what we have here, what we have this is for lossy line. Okay, and equation is this: for a lossless line, the wave amplitude remains as the distance, it does not decrease like this. Input impedance and the current voltage are given by these equations. 11 is the input impedance. What is the input impedance? That is given by this equation. Okay, so this is for lossless line. Okay, so in the today's class, we'll stop now. We studied about this lossless line and expression for voltage, current, and impedance on a lossless transmission line. Okay, input impedance. Okay, in the next class, we will do some problems on this, and also we will discuss a few more things.